Good evening, good evening, everybody. I just did a video for Star Trek Online. I'm gonna do something a little different this evening, and I should have done this a while ago. I should have actually done it uh, when the last Supreme Court justice was nominated and went through Congress, appointed by President Joseph R. Biden, and that is Justice Kentanji Brown Jackson. Okay. Um, I'm gonna give you my take. Again, I should have done this quite a few years ago. I'm gonna give you my personal take on how well some of these justices did. Okay. If this question ever comes up, how would I rate the last three, four Supreme Court justices, three nominated by President Donald Trump? The last one was nominated by Biden, as I said before. But before I do that, I'm going to show you. I should not be sharing my screen. I'm going to show you a book I found. I first found it at Barnes and Noble, but I didn't buy it. Instead, I got another copy from the local library, and it is this one. Overruled, two words, the human toll of too much law by Justice Neil Gorsuch. This is Justice Gorsuch's second book. His first book is A Republic If You Can Keep It, which is a quote by Benjamin Benjamin Franklin. Um, Based on a question from a lady who lived, I want to say in his hometown or DC, I'm not sure. Uh, the lady, some lady, and I'm not sure if that person identified, but some lady asked Ben Franklin, "What in the world are you doing up there on the hill? What we call the hill today." Um, which probably wasn't the hill in that particular place. It was probably a different place. What the heck are you doing up there in the Congress or in the Continental Congress? And Ben Franklin said, we're trying to create a republic if we can keep it. If we can keep it. So I've read Mr. Gorsuch's first book more than once, and I've now ordered it on online on Amazon, and I think I'll get it on Friday. Excuse me, but I found this one overruled. I just started reading it. Overruled by Neil Gorsuch, and uh, I firmly believe. Let me now share my screen. I want to show you what Mr. Gorsuch looks like. Some of you may not know what he looks like. That's Patrick Bay David. I'm watching his podcast from today, I think. Today. Yes, from this morning. This morning being actually Florida time. Um, but Neil Gorsuch or Gorsuch, if you want to do Gorsuch, Gorsuch, French, I think, a little bit of French. Neil McGill Gorsuch Images. Images. Here he is. Neil McGill, of course. This one with a beard. Sometimes he'll grow his beard. That's a picture used in this book. That's a picture right here. Pretty interesting. Wonder if there's one with a beard. Beard. Let's say beard. Yeah, there's one. Uh, oh, is that Robert Bork? Looks like Robert Bork there. Oh, that's an X. Let's see. What does it say there? Debuts a pandemic beard on Constitution Day. uh, when was this? September, 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Well, could be a little bit of Santa Claus there with the beard. He's just missing the red hat and a gift sack, red gift sack. Uh, Here's what I think about Neil Gorsuch. Number one, I really, um, actually, first of all, let me say this. In 2016, we had, for those of you who may remember, who may not even remember, we had Donald Trump and former First Lady, former Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, and and both sides, this is my humble opinion. You can disagree. Both sides did not do well, in my own opinion, did not do well in the debates. Um, Trump just told it like it is, and there are things that Mrs. Clinton said that were not acceptable. One word in particular that she called us, some of us, is the big D word, deplorables. So that was one thing that I didn't like about the debates in 2016. So I did not, according to my recollection, I did not vote for either party. In 2020, I think I voted for Trump. I think so, against Joe Biden. And Mr. Trump believes, and now it's possible that it actually happened, that the election was stolen. Okay. I'm not going to get into more details than that. That's just what he feels. The election that's coming up in a month, less than a month, a couple of weeks actually. Um, it's between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Donald Trump's coming back. Hopefully, he won't have to appoint any new judges, justices, excuse me, because he already appointed four before he left. This I will say, I may not have liked Trump. I did, however, like the nominees that he put up for the Supreme Court. And of course, Mr. Neil Gorsuch is the first one. He replaced the late Antonin Scalia. Gorsuch did. And then, and I will say this, that Justice Gorsuch passed the test of the Senate Judiciary Committee, chaired by Charles Grassley of Iowa, I believe. Mr. Gorsuch passed that test with flying colors. There were probably, undoubtedly, there were uh, protests outside of that building, whatever building they use, for the hearings. Okay, that's 2000. Trump got in 2016. I think he put Gorsuch up in 17. I think so. So let's go back to Neil Gorsuch. When did he, when was he put up? I want to say he became member. He was nominated, yeah, last day of January 2017, and he had served since April 10th. So April 10th. He started April 10th, 2017. Okay. Flying Colors. You can still watch the 4 days of the hearings, and each day, I believe, is except for the last one, I think. At least the first 3 days are about 12 hours long. 12, I think 12 hours long. Let's go to YouTube because you can probably still find it. Gorsuch Supreme Court hearings. Gore. Oh, excuse me. My apologies. Gorsuch confirmation hearing. Yeah, about 12 hours each. Day two was 12 hours. Day three was almost 11 hours. I think this is day one. Day one is 4 hours. Day two is 11, yeah. So, Gorsuch won with flying colors. So here's a case that he writes. I think he writes about in his first book, uh, regarding the driver for Trans Am that who got fired for leaving his vehicle because I guess it was in the freezing cold, and I think the engines or the brakes were frozen over, one of the two. And he called for backup, and the backup guys or the supervisors told him to wait. He's losing consciousness. He's probably got that driver probably got frostbite, a whole bunch of hypothermia and all that stuff, freezing to death. He leaves his vehicle, unhitches the trailer, and goes inside, probably in the nearest hotel, motel, whatever, and gets warm. And he got fired for that. The driver fought the termination, I think, and it got to Gorsuch's court, the appellate court that he was in before he was nominated in Colorado, and or 10th Circuit Court of Appeal. I think the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. And Gorsuch, through no fault of his own, and he explains this during his confirmation. He explains this through no fault of his own. He read the law or the regulations as written. He didn't put his opinion on it. The drivers believed he was falsely terminated, and I would agree he was falsely terminated. Who in the world, who in the right flipping world would want to call backup, call dispatch in the freaking freezing cold in the middle of the U.S.? I don't think it's Colorado. If it was Colorado, it's probably it's cold. But wherever this Trans Am guy was, in the flipping freezing cold, you call dispatch, you got a problem with your trailer, you got a problem with your truck, the brakes or the uh, whatever steering column, whatever freezes, it stalls, it's not working. The big rig's not moving. Probably low on gas. God knows what. Oil's probably frozen over. Battery's frozen over. Fill in the blank. You call dispatch. Wait, wait. Dude, you think help is going to get you in the freezing flipping cold, snow falling? No. And you call, and this Trans Am guy called several times. I'm sure he did. Honestly, for me, Gorsuch made the right decision because he read the law or the regulation as written. You can't put your opinion into the law. The other people in that appeals court said they probably dissented from Gorsuch, and they probably did. But the majority with Gorsuch said, sorry, buddy, you got fired. You left your vehicle. You were told to stay. Yes, you're freezing your butt off. You could have frostbite. You could have hypothermia. You could have um whatever. You could freeze to death. But I believe at the same time, while he read the letter of the regulation, the driver made the right choice to keep himself from freezing to death. Gorsuch is not at fault. In my humble opinion, the Trans Am guy, the Trans Am driver, would not be at fault. The law was at fault, as written. I hope you understand that. So Gorsuch did the right thing. Gorsuch did the right thing. The Trans Am company guys, the regulation writers, the law writers, were wrong. But Gorsuch couldn't change the law. As much as he cannot change the Constitution of the United States, he could not change that law. And Gorsuch did the right thing. Gorsuch felt badly for that driver. I believe that driver tried to sue Gorsuch's court. Gorsuch's his courthouse, whatever you call it. Sued his office. Probably didn't go very well. But Gorsuch passed the test. Passed the test of the confirmation hearings for 4 flipping days. Passed the test with flying colors. Fast forward, okay. Fast forward, Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh passed with flying colors. The problem with him, not with him, the problem with his confirmation hearing is one, the Democrats didn't want to hear this dude. Two, someone, we don't know who, probably the late Dianne Feinstein, Democrat from California, 90 years old. I think she was 90 years old. Someone found a story about Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Kavanaugh. And the story was told by a lady by the name of Christine Blasey Ford. Blasey Ford, right? Fortunately, and I'm not going to get into details of the story. It's ridiculous now. It's in the past. That story did not have enough concrete evidence against Brett Kavanaugh. And Brett Kavanaugh passed with flying colors. Democrats, such as now Vice President Kamala Harris, Blumenthal, Cory Booker of Newark, New Jersey, all of them said, and probably others said, please, said to Charles Grassley, who was still chairman of that one, said to Grassley, hey, can you please suspend this hearing? Can you please postpone this hearing? Can we not hear from this dude? And that's the first ruckus that was going on. The second ruckus was going on is all these idiots, and I call them idiots, who were inside the building using their freedom of speech. Okay. No on Kavanaugh, no on Kavanaugh. All because of Trump. I don't think these guys were hating on Kavanaugh necessarily. I think they were hating on Trump. Whether it's Russia collusion or whatever. Kavanaugh, as I said before, passed the test with flying colors, right? Then what happens? Oh yeah, COVID. COVID hits, right? As Trump called it, the China virus, the China virus, China virus, China. Okay. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, ACLU lawyer, before she got into the Supreme Court, appointed by President Bill William Jefferson Clinton, 1994. There's a movie based on Ruth Bader Ginsburg that's called On the Basis of Sex. And let me tell you something, it's actually a pretty damn good movie. I'll give credit to the actors, including Armie Hammer, who played Mr. Ginsburg, Ruth's husband. Pretty good role for that guy. I forget who I can probably look at it right now. On the basis of sex, on the basis of sex. Oh, look at that pretty lady. Who is that actress? Felicity Jones. That's her. Okay. Oh, Kathy Bates is in there. Oh, interesting. Oh, RBG is in that movie. Interesting. So this is actually a pretty good movie. I actually like this movie. It's about Sex discrimination in the workplace that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was fighting in the Supreme Court on behalf, and she was a ACLU lawyer before during this fight for, I think it was like gender equality, equal pay, equal work, equal pay for all that. So basically saying uh, that women should get the same pay as men. There should be no gender gap in pay rate. I agree with that. Okay, that is common sense. Okay, common sense. So, who does Miss who who replaces Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Amy Coney Barrett. Coney, not Comey, James Comey. Amy Coney, like Coney Island. Amy Coney Barrett. And she started in 2020, right in the beginning, pretty much. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, right in the beginning of COVID. She's one of 5 women to serve on the Supreme Court. First one was Sandra Day O'Connor, nominated by Reagan. Elena Kagan Sotomayor, nominated by Obama. Ginsburg, nominated by Clinton, as I said before. And now Amy Coney Barrett. What's interesting about this one, and I think it was Senator Frank, no, Senator Franken, I think it was. Senator Franken? Al Franken, that's it. Senator Al Franken. I think it was him and maybe some other person. Was pretty much a religious litmus test and pretty much on Amy Coney Barrett, basically attacking Miss Barrett's Catholic faith. I believe that's what happened. Okay. All 3 people nominated by Trump passed the test. Flying colors. And I think Gorsuch wrote the most notes. uh Kavanaugh had a little booklet copy of the Constitution. I think he's had since his days in college, I want to say. Coney Barrett. Someone, I think it was Lindsey Graham, memory serves, who asked Mrs. Barrett to hold up her little notepad, right? Little notepad. I don't have a notepad here. Uh, and the notepad was blank. Smart, smart. That's 3. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett. Now this one, Ketanji. Ketanji. Kentanji. This lady, who just published a book recently, she was a public defender public defender before she was nominated to be a judge? Well, it says she was a judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the. I think she was a public defender. Same time. I think so. Vice Chair of the United States Sentencing Commission. Judge of the United States Court of Appeal. Okay, so she was a judge. I thought she was just a public defender. Was she a public defender? Yeah, she was. Oh, okay. 2003 to 2005. Was she handled cases? Okay, yeah. Was she handled cases before the United States Court of Appeals? Yeah, so she was a public defender. So she was a judge. But yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah. Okay. My problem with Kentanji Brown Jackson is this. My problem with Ketanji Brown Jackson is this. Okay. I believe it was Miss Senator Blackburn. I have to get her state right. Senator Blackburn. Marcia Blackburn. That's her. She's got that very strong accent. Where's she from? Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. Okay. Marcia Blackburn asked Ketanji Brown Jackson, what is a woman? That is the most simple question with the most simple answer. When two people of the same sex slash gender start to have an exchange on what is a woman, and Justice Brown Jackson, could not simply answer the flippant question. Why? Why? I applaud Blackburn, Senator Blackburn, for asking that question. It's a simple question. What is a simple answer? But Ketanji Brown Jackson could not answer that question. Well, I like Ted Cruz. I'll say this and I'll be done. I like Ted Cruz in Texas, but I don't like him at the same time. I like it because he's a card carrying member of the RFA. No, not and any NRA. I think it's National Rifle Association. I think so. Uh I like this guy, but I don't like this guy. I like this guy. I like Senator Cruz because he's a Republican. He doesn't take crap from anyone, which I like. But sometimes I tell you, he can be rude. When you don't answer a question the way he wants you to answer a question, if you are ever uh, a witness asked to testify before Congress, and you get questioned by Senator Ted Cruz and you don't answer the way he wants you to answer, he will interrupt you and he doesn't care about the time. You refuse to answer the question. Let me move on to the next question. Oh, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz. But he asked some very good questions for Ketanji Brown Jackson. One of my favorite other guys that I really like to listen to, two of my favorite guys, is and he's still on it. It is Josh Hawley. Really love Josh Hawley, especially when he grills uh Alejandro Mayorkas. But oh no, and the other guy I like is Ben Sass. I'm not sure Ben Sass is still in it. Is he still on the Senate? I don't think so. Ben Sass. Oh no, not anymore. Former U.S. United States Senator. What's he doing right now? What is he doing? What is Senator Ben Sass? Sassy Sass? What's he doing? What is he doing right now? Ben Sass from Nebraska. He stopped serving in 2023. He was president of the University of Florida. Interesting. And Kent Fuchs is on there now. What's he doing right now? Probably nothing. He went against Trump. Mm. Ah, man, Ben Sass. I like Ben Sass. I like Ben Sass. Mm. Ah, man. But another guy I like, the other guy I liked was Josh Hawley. Josh, you are Hawley. Joshua Hawley. And he's still in it. So I don't know. He's from Missouri. Is that, yeah, Missouri. Really like this guy. And I really like, as I said before, I like him as as he grills the Department of Homeland Security. Oh, that's a treat to watch him. Him and Cruz both. We really like watching. So I'm just doing this little video based on what I think about the last four justices of the Supreme Court. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. John Jay was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. There is a magazine that talks about the Supreme Court. Is this John? This John Marshall as the first Chief Justice? That's incorrect. Let me get that one. I'll be right back. That's the one. I'm sorry. Special Time Magazine, Supreme Court. Let me find. That's the one that gives the history of the courts. Yeah, here it is. I think. Oh, here it is. Oh, there's another one. Might not be the one I'm looking for. But anyway, John Jay is the first one, and one magazine listed another justice as Chief Justice. That of course is incorrect. Let's find it here. Mm, might not be this one. Oh, yeah, it's right here. John Marshall. Read this. This is incorrect. It says the nation's first Chief Justice, John Marshall. That's incorrect for everybody. It's right here. During Marbury versus Madison. Okay. Now, let me share my screen again. Okay. First Supreme Court Chief Justice is John Jay. Okay, here's a question. John Marshall John Jay, not John Marshall. Why is John Marshall called the first Supreme Court Justice? Because he significantly shaped the power and role of the Supreme Court by establishing the principle of judicial review in the landmark case Marbury versus Madison, effectively solidifying the judiciary as an equal branch of government under his leadership. This occurred after he was appointed as Chief Justice by President John Adams in 1801, making him the most influential figure in the early history of the Supreme Court. Okay, fine. He may be called the great first justice, the great Chief Justice, excuse me. He was not the first. It was John Jay. Okay. We got John Marshall, right? And then you have, we'll go to the 10 people who changed American law. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. 10 justices for another's magazine. 10 justices who changed history. John Marshall, Roger B. Taney. Roger B. Taney is, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, the worst justice and the worst chief justice because of the decision of Dred Scott versus Sandford. Okay. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., Louis Brandeis, Hugo Black, Charles Evans Hughes, William O. Douglas, Earl Warren, known for the Warren Commission, William J. Brennan Jr., Thurgood Marshall, the first black Supreme Court justice, and that's about it. Only 10. So, I just want to give you my opinion of justices of the Supreme Court. The last 4. Hopefully, we won't need any new justices of the Supreme Court. Hopefully not. Um, there's possible rumor stories going around about Clarence Thomas. Hopefully, he doesn't leave anytime soon. Samuel Alito. who somehow the Dobbs decision was leaked. I'm sure you know that story. Um, who else has been in for a while? I think Thomas and Alito are the longest serving right now. I think so. Sounds about right. 9 justices, 9 current Supreme Court justices. Oh, Roberts. So Roberts. Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas has been there since he was nominated by George Herbert Walker Bush. Alito was put there by George Bush Jr., I think. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, 9. George Herbert Walker Bush, Sam Alito was President George W. Bush. Sotomayor, Obama, Kagan, Obama, Gorsuch, Trump, Kavanaugh, Trump, Coney Barrett, Trump, and Biden. Brown, Jackson. So, my take on Supreme Court justices, and I hope you enjoyed this video.